So
what's really great right now is that our YouTube. Oh wait, maybe it is going to kick in. Our YouTube stream wouldn't even kick in.
oh,
A
that's
second
awesome.
ago. So it's trying and trying. So for those of you that are trying to watch on YouTube, we'll see. Oh, there it goes. Now the YouTube stream finally kicked in. It only took,
Oh, we have a chat board.
45 seconds, and now the chat board is there. No.
Is that an old one? Hello.
I think that's for an event that's coming up in 8 days, Terry, that you're chatting on.
Okay.
It's not the live one here that we're in. Oh, what is this, and why are you coming onto my screen?
All right. Well, we'll. Guess I'm thoroughly confused. Either way.
I have no idea what's going on.
Either do I. Johnny, do we have anything else that's, not COVID and not political, even if it is a primary voter day here in Wisconsin? Do we have anything that's not political or COVID related?
I don't. I don't. Oh my God, I'm so frustrated at my phone right now. Anyway, I don't have a lot. No.
Okay.
It's been pretty quiet. I will say last week we did a game night with for those of you that were able to tune in, where we played Quiplash like we promised. And I think we're going to try to do that again this Thursday.
Okay.
I'm going to rely on Terry to line up a few people, because that's his job. And I thought overall it was a lot of fun. We had Madison Walker, we had AJ Risley, Tina and Eric Oakley, Seth Muncie, and Tyler Brickley from Disc Golf Comedy. And then the two of us, we all sat together and played a game, and it was rather fun.
For some that didn't see or know what you're talking about, we're not going to go play right now or anything, but what is kind of the quick premise of the game?
So Quiplash, the way it works is you play, they ask you 2 questions. You've got like 60 seconds to answer the 2 questions. You get asked these 2 questions, and one other player gets asked the same 2 questions. They bring the answers up on the board. At that point, then everybody, including the people in the audience, get a chance to vote on that particular answer, who they enjoy the most, or who's the funniest, or who's the most appropriate. And from there, they award points. And we played 3 rounds of Quiplash. I won one, you won one, and Eric Oakley won another one. And it was a really good and fun first time streaming something like that. I think there's a lot of potential for that, especially during these times right now. But overall, in general, I think that we could make something out of that there, Terry.
Yeah, looking forward to doing another one. And then we also veered off per some suggestions to try another one of the games within the game pack. Found out, I would say, death by fire, is that the phrase? That
it wasn't as much fun as Quiplash. It wasn't as community driven, which is kind of what we were looking for. It was more of a more of a trivia question. And then on top of that, I know we had some people that were having some issues with their phones. They weren't exactly sure what was going on. Someone said that it was going to work better with some audio, which we didn't have. And just overall, we just need to get that figured out.
Okay.
And if you have suggestions for games that we can play, please toss them our way. We will find your favorite pro and get them online and make sure that happens.
Speaking of favorite pros, what have you seen for videos that have come in from our favorite pros? We obviously talked with Simon Lizotte last week with regard to what he's doing for YouTube content. Have you seen personally any other headlines or any other submissions by any of our top pros?
Not a lot. Simon and Ricky both. Ricky put out that what does he call it? The 20-foot challenge, where he moved back 20 feet after he parked it. He had to get it inside that 11-foot circle.
Yeah, I didn't click on that to find out what the rules were.
So it's very similar to the putting challenge, except that he was driving into the parked range, and so he got back to just shy of 400 feet, I think. In an hour, and it was able to, maybe he hit 400 feet even. I honestly, I watched the video and I can't remember how far back he got, but he was able to, he threw a whole bunch of discs, and they had to make it into that circle, and then he could move back further back. So obviously the first 300 feet are relatively easy, and then it gets a little bit more challenging.
And speaking of challenging, I saw Matt Graham, who has helped out on a number of things and is one of the organizers over there at Kids Disc Golf. His son, Hunter, I believe, was doing the 10-foot putting challenge, and where you make it and then you can move back 10 feet, so on and so forth, and you have 1 hour to do it. I feel like that was one of the more popular ones that got a lot of this kicked off. And I feel like he made it all the way to he made it to 90 feet. Now, mind you, he's like this tall, but he made it all the way back to 90 feet. I want to say he hit from 100 feet. He hit the basket 4 times. So pretty incredible what we're seeing out there. And what a great game for so many people to be able to go out and play, because you can do it alone. If you have a helper too, it's going to probably substantially save yourself some wear and tear. But it's been great seeing it. I know that Dave and Rebecca, who are over in Singapore, they were doing it in their backyard. I think he got to around 130 or 140 feet. It's just been awesome watching all these people go out there and try it. And my favorite part is you can take that 1 hour and then potentially, trim it down to about 6 or 7 minutes if you're doing good on the editing, depending on how things went for you. So it's awesome to see it. Please keep putting them out there. Keep doing it. Challenging yourself. You do it once, see if you can then improve on it and go from there. Keep posting it. Finding ways to keep yourself entertained. In Wisconsin today, we experienced arguably the single warmest day of 2020.
I went out for a bike ride.
And so with temperatures pushing in the high 60s, the low 70s, and then on top of it being a day that Wisconsinites could or should physically go out and vote if you didn't have an absentee ballot or what's the fancy word? Not absentee. That's not the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, that is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Absentee ballot. Very, very interesting day in Wisconsin then, because of the people that were out along then, combining that with some of the politics that were going on.
This is the first voting I've missed in quite a while. My wife got an absentee ballot, and I did not, even though she reminded me. She's like, "Oh, make sure you." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll totally do that." Never did. And then I saw, honestly, I know I'm bad, but I saw 1 to 2 hour waits at my particular one, and I just thought, I'm just not going to. And, shame on me, definitely. But ultimately, I skipped it for those particular reasons.
Yeah, and on my way here tonight, as I was venturing to the side of town, I live in a suburb on the west side of Milwaukee. Our voting area, it's near the highway, the interstate that I need to get on to come over to Johnny's. And I thought, well, I'm going to drive by. I'd like to see what it's all about. Now, granted, this was much later. This wasn't earlier in the day where things generally do have the longer lines and are a little more chaotic. I drove up to the church that it was being held at, where it's been held for the last couple of years. I pulled up. I saw like 4 cars in the entire parking lot. And it appeared that all 4 of those cars were related to the workers that were in there, because there was exactly 0 people inside voting as I had pulled up. And someone was pulling in right after me. They were spraying down people. You had a clean pen set to pull from, and then you had to discard your dirty pen when you were done. So things, it literally... I compared it to going into a good day at the General Mitchell Airport here in Milwaukee, which is some days I can go into the airport, I can get checked in, I can then go through security, barely even stopping to stop at the security line, because everything just moves through in one swift motion and virtually no wait. Well, that's what it was like in the voter area today. So I'll admit, had there been a long line or went out the door, I probably would have skipped it.
Correct, and you live in a smaller...
unpatriotic as that is.
You live in a smaller community. Milwaukee has 600,000 people that live in this city, and they went down to 5 voting locations, which they normally have about 180. So that is a big pain in the butt, and hopefully we'll get something figured out. That's as close to politics as we're going to get tonight on that.
Speaking of pain in the butt, Paul Ulibarri, who we had last week, just kidding. But he has a newfound, I think, appreciation. He talked about it last week with regard to editing. We saw his video release yesterday. Paul Ulibarri did release his very first ever video for his YouTube channel, the one that he had assembled. He essentially collected, maybe without permission, but collected a bunch of shots from other YouTube channels and by other creators. He put them together in what he feels like are his top 10 shots of his career that have been filmed thus far. And so you can go check that out, Paul Ulibarri. So Drew Gibson has some new content out there. We saw that Paige Pierce is working on her van and is going to have some new content out there. Simon, Ricky, all these people continue to put out more and more content for everybody to go out there and enjoy. So make sure you're checking them all out. All right, Johnny, do you have the list for a giveaway so we could get at it here tonight?
I do. I've got a nice list here. We can do a giveaway, Terry, a Patreon giveaway for those of you that maybe this is your first time listening. You can help support us at patreon.com/SmashBoxxTV. And what that does is that's a monthly donation, we'll say, or a weekly donation, depending on how you want to schedule it up. And you help support this podcast. And in return, we put your name on a list and you get entered into a weekly drawing. Or if you want to be on the list, you can go to SmashBoxxTV/weekly giveaways. I'm not sure which one it is, but you can find it out there. We also grab those names that come in. This particular week, we have 201 supporters that are eligible for our giveaway. Terry, I believe next to you, we have a giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
It is our monthly Disc Golf member box, our Disc member box.
Disc member box.
And I have no clue what's in there. Haven't looked. It arrived yesterday, I believe, at my desk, and we are going to turn around and give that away to one of our supporters. So if you're interested, and for those of you that don't know what Disc Member is, it's like a monthly supporter box where you will get sent a minimum of like a $40 value. It's always at least a disc. A lot of times it's something like a t-shirt or some other disc golf related items, and they've got different levels. If you want 2 discs or 5 discs or 100 discs every month, I'm sure they can arrange it. If they can't, send them to me and I'll talk them into it. But ultimately, you can you'll get a new disc, a fresh disc every particular month, and something fun to try. Especially now, if you can support it, that'd be great, because there's not a lot of places that are that are probably open locally for you to buy discs.
Well, you've got something free coming your way, and so Johnny V is going to go out to random.org. We're going to punch in 201 possible people, and we will generate the third number will be our number used, and that will correspond with the spreadsheet that Johnny V has pulled down from patreon.com, and that will be our lucky winner tonight. All right, Johnny, third number tonight.
Third number tonight. Our first number is 85. Second number is 186.
Oh, you guys could have been winners.
Is 93.
How did you sort the list, Johnny?
By email address.
By email address.
93. Joseph Culp. Congratulations to Joseph Culp.
There it is, Joseph. We appreciate your support. We'll be getting you this disc member box that will probably ship as early as tomorrow. I have a few Patreon $3 and above level Patreon people that did not submit their mailing address. So there is, I wish I had the spreadsheet in front of me. There are a handful of you that did not give us a mailing address. So if you want your free disc that comes every year, I'd like to get it to you, but I can't guess at what your address is.
And I did send that email out to those people, so I'm hoping that we should be able to hear back from them pretty soon.
Yes, there were roughly 6 or 8 of you, if I recall, of people that we just simply don't have your address. You are eligible to get a disc. We'd love to give it to you. I'd love to get it shipped out, get it out of my house. I'm sick of having them, but we need your actual addresses, okay? So please double check if you're a Patreon supporter. Double check that we have your address on file over there at patreon.com. All right, Johnny. I don't know if I've got a lot else if you don't.
I really don't.
Anything new on Netflix?
My wife and I are going through Ozark.
Okay.
That is, we are halfway through, or a little more than halfway through the second season. I heard it's very good. We are about to finish up with Schitt's Creek on. I think we have it on Amazon. Is where we purchased the final season. And other than that, I don't know what we're gonna do once we get through Ozark. I'm sure there'll be something fun and interesting. We'll try to watch maybe an episode every night or two.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like the suggestions are they're not endless for you? I mean, you like a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah, I like a lot of dumb stuff.
No, but don't you feel like the suggestion? I mean, you
Like
don't have a whole list of items. I'm genuinely surprised you don't have a list of like, oh, here's the next 9 different programs or shows or series that I'm interested in.
No, I'll probably watch Westworld because I watched the first 2 seasons. That's on HBO. Shout out to Scotty. And I'll probably kind of watch that, but there doesn't really seem to be anything that's really grabbing me right now, or anything that I haven't seen. There's some old series I'm sure I could go back and watch that I haven't that are done that I haven't binged through. There's just nothing. There's nothing right now for me.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, call this a very short and not so informative, but I guess you really got what you need out of this. What you need out of the after show is your chance to win something for free, and we've fulfilled that need. So next week, we'll be able to do that again, and hopefully we'll have this chat up and running for you so we can get a little bit more interaction with you. Justin on there is telling you to watch The Platform.
The Platform, okay.
Sci-fi movie, I'm guessing.
I think I saw something about that.
Called The Platform. That sounds like something that might be your speed.
Someone said it was very similar to The Room.
With Jodie Foster?
No, that's Panic Room, Terry.
Oh. Hey, quick, I do want to go down a quick side tangent here.
Bring it on, Terry.
Masterclass. What do you think about those? Like the branded Masterclass, not program, whatever.
It's almost
platform.
It's almost like a TED Talk for famous people. Basically, like, oh hey, I saw the one that was promoted to me for whatever reason was Danny Elfman talking about scoring movies.
Okay,
and Danny Elfman is a very famous producer of soundtracks and movie scores and whatever else you want to, whatever he does. But I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with them, so I can't say whether I think they're worthwhile or not. They seem to have good reviews. I haven't heard anything bad about them, so that's good.
I would like to know, I'm going to quickly interrupt, and I'd like to throw it out there. Have any of you taken or paid for or done, whether it's an ongoing amount, and as I quickly Google it, it says right now, it says the cost of an all-access pass is $180 per year, or I know that you can then you can buy individual classes. So maybe there's a chef, maybe there's a painter, a writer, someone musically, whatever. They have I'm constantly pitched them depending on what you're watching on YouTube. Of course, depending on the genre of show or program that you're watching, they'll pitch you different things. If I'm watching one particular something on editing, I'm more likely to get something in theater or film or editing pitched to me as a master class. If you're watching whatever, you get the point. They definitely tailor them as you're watching YouTube. YouTube then tailors the master class ad for you. And I'll say I've seen probably 10 or 12 different famous people or people that should be famous anyway have their master class. They kind of give a little preview for it. And I've just been very curious to know if anybody has ever taken them and what they think about them. And if it's something that you feel like there's enough value in there. Because I think a lot of people would say anything that a master class could teach you, you could probably find for free on YouTube. I totally agree with that. But maybe you're a huge Penn and Teller fan. So if you want to go learn magic, you want to support and or learn from Penn and Teller. I know they teach a class. Maybe you're a huge Gordon Ramsay fan, therefore, you want to take his master class or his second one because I know he has 2 now. Whatever the case might be, I'm genuinely curious. I keep thinking I would want to pull the trigger on it, but then I keep thinking I don't know when I would ever really apply these things, or maybe I don't need to apply them. Maybe I just consume them and try and file them in my memory bank. I don't know. I always do want to know because they give such a great presentation. The previews for them look like they're so well produced. They're so refined.
Very high quality.
And high quality, but I don't know who I would trust for a review other than somebody that I know has actually paid for it and taken some of them. And I don't know if we know anyone that's done that. Okay. All right.
Kind of speaking of, I don't want to say master classes, but teaching things, there is a really good video out right now, and I think it was linked to on Reddit, where somebody basically teaches how to do disc tracking.
Okay. Or
so like
what some would call follow flight or
coastline, whatever,
Sure.
depending on who does it. And he goes through from start to finish. It's about a 20 to 25 minute video, and he shows you exactly how it's done. From the 3D tracking of the camera. There's a few examples out there of people that have followed it and say, oh, this was really awesome, thanks a lot. So if you're interested in something like that, if you're a content producer or you have your own personal video that you want to do a follow flight or a tracking on, please go ahead and check it out. It's out there on Reddit is where I saw it. It might be linked in other places, but definitely go check that out because it seemed to be very well done and produced.
Yeah, and this comes also almost exactly 1 week after we saw that Jomez had put out there during the April Fool's Day. They had put out a little video indicating that they were coming out with a follow flight app. And again, I love you guys, as in all of you watching, but it's amazing how quickly people forget what day it is when it comes to April 1st. And then how many people are like, yes, this is awesome. I can't find it in the store. It's not in the Play Store.
I kind of feel like that Jomez slightly. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I don't think they hit April Fools on the head there.
Oh, really?
Because I guess it depends on how you want to attack it. Do you want to attack April Fools as a cheeky video like the Innova ones? You always know those are April Fools jokes. With the Jomez one, there really wasn't any sort of hint of humor to it.
Oh, and I see that's why I liked it.
And that's great. And I was fine with it too. But that's why I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, this looks great. This looks awesome. I want this." And if it would have been just a touch sillier or something. I mean, I know they did a couple things like they made an electricity line, a fire line or whatever, and that was great. And maybe that was by design because I know they're also doing like a charity follow flight where I think you can pay them $100 and they'll do a follow flight for you. And I believe that money goes back to one of the charities that they were doing their star frames for.
Okay.
So there's that. And maybe that's the whole point because if you dig down into their store enough, I guess it depends how you want to go at April Fools. I think that if I was in their shoes, I don't know if I would have wanted all those responses like, yeah, give it to me. I want this right now. I'm glad you finally, got something like this down. Let's make this happen. I would pay money for it as opposed to maybe at the end adding something a little more cheeky in there just so everybody kind of knows. It all depends on how you attack it.
I guess, yeah. And I was going to say, I feel like then they hit the nail right on the head if people are saying, oh, yeah, I totally wanted that. That sounds great, as opposed to it being something that was a little more crazy or ludicrous. Maybe what they could have done is said like, oh, we even have this added feature where you can call it, the internet distance tracker where it adds an extra 50 feet, or whatever to maybe make it a little less believable. But nonetheless, I thought they did a great job with it.
They did a phenomenal
as you would expect for them to do. But good to know that if people do want to go out, I think I saw a follow-up to it where someone said, oh, good, I did it. And then they showed them like throwing it right into the ground and the follow flight like didn't go anywhere. And I'm like, yep, okay, for some people that's going to be completely appropriate.
I hope that was a joke and it'd be funny. So
so I thought that they nailed it. That was pretty good as well. So, All right, guys. Well, then we're going to call things a little bit short tonight. We will plan on game night. Stay tuned for the contestants. I've reached out to a couple people, but stay tuned for the contestants. We're planning that again on Thursday night. We may push it to that 8-hour time or 8 o'clock time slot as opposed to 9. Like we had last week, we had it at 8, and this week it looks like we'll probably do the same. So the 8 o'clock time slot, 8 p.m. Central, Thursday night, as in 40, I don't know, 43, 44 hours, something like that from now, 40-some hours from now. 44. Yeah, that's crazy. 44 hours from now is when we'll have a whole new fresh set of contestants. Then we'll have to have a tournament of champions. Who knows where this thing's going to go, but it's going to get wild on the SmashBoxxTV game night, so we hope that you play along and you participate with us come Thursday night. So we're going to close things out, calling it a super early night tonight. I hope you have a short commute because we're not giving you all the action you need.
If you're watching this live right now and you do see the YouTube go up and down a few more times tonight, it's me probably swearing.
Yes, Johnny V playing around with something or other, trying to get it adjusted. So if there's any more bells or notifications, it's probably best to close your browser. There might be things you don't want to see.
I'm going to try to turn it to unlisted, but we'll see if that makes a difference.
I've been unlisted once. All right, for Johnny V and Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, this has been SmashBoxxTV Podcast 292 After Show, short and sweet. We'll have everything fixed up, ready to go. We'll see you on Thursday night for game night at 8 p.m. Central. We'll see you then when you step inside the Smashbox.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hit the button.
That's the one I want.